One of the aspects of the Dave McNett Environmental Educator of the Year Award that we greatly appreciate is the fact that our scope of educator is far-reaching. We all know the value of classroom teachers and instructors in higher education programs, but we also value the education work that is done behind other desks. Erica Guttman is a local celebrity. It is often said that she knows everyone in one capacity or another. Who here has heard her speak, read one of her publications, attended one of her presentations, or spoken to her at a native plant salvage sale? Raise your hand up high if you have met or know her in some way. See that, Erica? You are ubiquitous. Erica's many years of work lie in the areas of education and public involvement, pairing these complementary fields. She is known for her work with the Native Plant Salvage Project, where she and a large corps of volunteers rescue native plants from places slated for development, and then use these plants in demonstration gardens and various other projects. Erica is also recognized for her dedication and dynamic presentations. Deb Nickerson recalled a talk that she did at one of our Audubon program meetings years ago. She stated, "A fellow English teacher and I applauded her use of adjectives to describe the stems and bark of winter twigs. In fact, she made the whole subject of dormant shrubs an almost sensual experience." In the very least, it was downright poetic. Bob Simmons, her former boss at the Wazoo Extension Office, agreed that Erica is extremely dedicated and thorough to the nth degree. He went on to say that in order to put into folks' heads the best ways to steward the environment, she has learned to talk at dizzying speeds, yet still keep people intensely engaged. Her workshops have crept from 1.5 hours to 3-hour sessions. Some now are even 2-day workshops. Deb Nickerson observed her on a second day of a workshop, greeting each of the 20 participants by name, yet none were wearing name tags. Pretty good. Erica's frequent workshops on local plant identification has given her a reputation as a plant lady. However, she actually deserves recognition for a great deal more. Over the last few decades, her experiences have included writing numerous publications on water resources and habitat concerns, including solutions to regional problems, and producing educational materials and videos to teach residents how to convert to more water-friendly practices, including things such as low-impact development and using sustainable landscaping. Erica has taught numerous classes on creating green stormwater infrastructure, rain garden design, and low-impact development for many groups, such as stormwater stewards, master gardeners, and real estate and landscape nursery professionals. Erica has designed and developed educational demonstration landscapes that promote groundwater protection, water conservation, and stormwater pollution prevention for public schools, private, and other public entities. I keep hear people saying, everybody knows Erica, and I think that rather sums up the situation. Nearly everyone who is involved in conservation work in the Puget Sound area knows about her as a prominent figure in trying to solve the many complicated and vexing problems that we all face in our environment. We are honored tonight to recognize her and all her work with the Dave McNett Award.
Introduction. Thank you so much. gosh, Anne is a hard act to follow. You know, actually my whole first career was in garbage, and I used to have props with me all the time. It was really funny. But I come with no props, like Anne, nor do I have beautiful pictures of birds, but I will be brief. So I hope that's something. Thank you so much. I just have to say that, oh goodness, it's going to be difficult. It's such an honor to receive this award tonight in such fine company. And I feel so humbled to be a recipient of this award, sharing this honor with the past recipients, including those who have been such inspirations to me, such as Jane Poole and Susie Vanderberg, who's not here tonight but wanted to be, has recently left our community. Greg Falksa is right here, and the teachers at Camacho, and many others who have been an inspiration to me. And of course, my dear dad, the amazing Guttman, who received this award for who has, of course, been more than an inspiration, but a formative teacher. So thank you all very, very much. I also want to point out, as Mary said, that no one carries out good work alone. And so I, too, have been blessed to have the dedication and support of hundreds of community volunteers over the past few decades. And without them, I couldn't do what I do. Moreover, perhaps most importantly, I would have lost faith and hope many years ago. So I am so grateful to these shining lights in our community for their hard work and their enduring spirits. I'm really quite keenly aware of my privilege to have been able to dedicate my adult life to environmental education, especially the opportunity to work on upstream pollution prevention and resource conservation in such a hands-on way with so many inspiring people. I hope, though, that you will agree with me that all of us in this room tonight are privileged. We are privileged not only to be entranced by the wonders and the beauty of the natural world, but also to have the luxury to worry about the future of our planet. I'm sure we all recognize how lucky we are to have more than our basic needs met, or to have our basic needs more than met, so that we can worry about such things as habitat preservation, saving pigeon guillemots, saving heronries, protecting our water resources, preventing waste, conserving energy, driving less, reducing our consumption to reduce the upstream pollution and resource extraction impact, teaching people to be better stewards of their shorelines of the Salish Sea or local streams and lakes or prairies or whatever it is, all the way up, of course, to our greatest environmental challenge, and that, of course, is our changing climate, which Audubon is now also taking on as a topic. In some ways, oops, this is now following. In some ways, it's a very complex thing to be a privileged environmentalist on our planet at this particular point in time. On the one hand, we know that the solutions to climate change are going to require major shifts in the broader political and social systems and our infrastructures here and all around the world. But on the other hand, we keenly feel the impact of our own personal ecological footprints as we struggle with the moral dilemma of pursuing our passions, of running around to beautiful areas to enjoy them and to be thrilled by the gorgeous plants and animals and other creatures that we discover there. I don't pretend to have any great notions about resolving this conundrum. My point is really just to point out that we should recognize the privilege of having to face this as a challenge. But this is what I do believe, and that is that when each of us pursues this passion, whether it's birding or botanizing or butterflying or any other kind of natural history observation, we all have this capacity to be great environmental educators, to help ignite in others this same passion that we have, and in so doing to engender an appreciation for wild places and all the wild creatures in these people who we're teaching, and inspiring them that they too might begin caring and worrying about protection and conservation. Also, I think it's important to remember that going birding can just recharge our batteries, and it helps us keep the faith that we can and should continue this sometimes challenging advocacy and education work. I believe that every time you're in a squally or some other fabulous birding haunt, and you take a moment to share the view of your scope with a family strolling by that knows nothing about birds, or you open up your bird book to explain to them what everybody's gathered around looking at and why that particular bird is so nifty, then that is really doing critical environmental education work. Every time you respond to requests on tweeters for somebody who wants information about a place that you've gone, and you take the time out of your busy day to respond graciously, that's doing important work. When those of you who are amazing birders, like Whittier and Jean McGregor, who I've had the pleasure of being able to go birding with, folks like that who take the time for those of us who are less experienced and without ego, with great gentleness and kindness, show us something and teach us more about the ecosystem and deepen our understanding of the natural world. That's all part of the work. I look around this room, and I am just amazed to be up here because I see so many magnificent environmental educators and so many of you who've been inspirations and mentors and generous to me. And I know that all of us are on the front lines doing this important work every day, whether it's in your professional capacity, in your volunteerism, as Deb has acknowledged, just some of you, I know there are many more of you in here doing great volunteer work, or taking advantage of your natural history outings again to try to ignite the spark of pleasure in someone else. So thank you all for all of that work. Finally, I need to talk about something painful. For the past 2 weeks, I and many others in this room have been mourning the sudden and unexpected loss of a dear friend in our environmental community, our colleague and friend, Patricia Pyle. Those of you who knew Patricia know that she was brilliant and hardworking and creative and driven, and that she challenged all of us. She challenged all of us to do more and to do it better and to be as doggedly determined as she was to get things done. So I want to end my remarks by dedicating this award to the memory of Patricia Pyle, and I want to ask all of you to pledge with me to do more, to do it better, and to not give up our belief that individually and collectively we can make a difference in protecting our local community and this beautiful, beautiful planet that we're privileged to live on. Thank you very much.